How you doing, guys? This is JP Sarri. It's Sarri Colea. Just coming back to you after a long vacation that I've been taking, doing other things, and really being busy. It's been a great past couple of months, I would say. It's been a bit hectic here at home. There's a lot of things that we've been dealing with on a personal level. But most importantly, we were in the process of purchasing a home or trying to purchase a home, which was really hectic. But we were able finally actually to purchase this home where I'm filming right now. This is my home now. I was living here for 8 years, but I was just renting. I was not really owning this home. I was not really planning to buy it. The reason why actually I ended up in this home is because we came to this area. I came back because of family, because of work. And I was just thinking about just stay here for a little bit, not really to stay permanently. So we just, end up renting and doing everything we had to do. Home I live is very small. And that's the reason I've never really seen a collection room, because I don't really have a collection room, just a little spot where I put all my stuff. And try to kind of organize it or change it a little bit. I want to just kind of share a little more about personal things. And in the last couple of months, I've been thinking in regards to this channel and what the future will hold, or what the future brings. And to be honest, I've been thinking, and I was talking to my wife yesterday in regards to what I've been doing in the last couple of years, in the last 5 years since I started my first video, which was just an intention to just kind of pass time, to kind of blow some steam. And it's been a hobby more than anything else, like many of the hobbies that I have in my life, like comics, statues and collectibles, but not necessarily as a it's something that really kind of, like, I would say, like a goal, like a plan. It has never been planned, although I'm very in many things in my life with my work. I love plans, and I love to work a structure of things. I really don't do that with my personal life. So I've never been as disciplined in that aspects with my hobbies or my life. And of course, that has created conflict for me personally, for my family, for everything else in my life. So I've been thinking about just kind of setting things for myself, making a plan in regards to what the future brings. And I'm looking this and envision what I want to do with my life. And I think I shared this before. I do see this as an opportunity more than anything else. I do enjoy what I do. I know many of you would like me to create more content, to have more content. People ask me for reviews, and it's not like I'm running away from it, or that I don't, or I don't care much about it, or I don't have the possibility of doing it. It's just I don't really have the time or the energy or the desire sometimes to do a lot of things, because I'm busy. I do work in a job which is very demanding. I do work in a company that has pretty much a calling center. So I work for a calling center, which is we deal with customers day in, day out, which is extremely difficult. The company that I work for has changed in many ways, has evolved, changed ownership, which is a difficult process. I don't know if I shared this before, but they eliminated so many different jobs. They move a lot of people to different positions. Of course, I was thankfully they never let me go, because they found my job important and where I do. But they have moved me to different positions, which has affected me in many ways financially. How companies do. They move you to a position. They offer a promotion, and they call it a promotion, but technically it's a pay cut with a different title. So there's a lot of things that in that end which have made many changes in my life, and adapting to the different schedules, adapting to what they want us to do. And thankfully the company has moved in a new direction, which I'm not going to say that I'm happy about, but it's just much better for my time. So that means that I have more time on my hands. So I've been dedicating a lot of that time to a lot of things here at home. Things when it comes with my family, a little bit of traveling, spending a little more time doing other things that I wanted to do for a while, but I haven't had really the chance to do it. Gaming. I've been doing a lot of gaming lately, and which I really like. and watching movies, spending more time with my family, or my wife. So there's a lot of things, you know, in the challenges of life, there's always that. But trying to find the right balance into to what we want to do is something that I've really been not struggling, but I would say yes, struggling with really finding what is the purpose or the meaning, you know, because we all come to a point in our lives where we feel that we want more than just the average, you know, more than just the status quo. I'm turning 40 this year. I might not look that old for some, but I am. And you know, it comes to the realization of what I'm doing with my life. What is the purpose of my life? I do have a child. You know, she's turning 18 years this year, which I'm very glad. And of course, you know, she has to follow her path in her life and her dreams and stuff like that. And we're supportive as parents. But at the same time, it really brings us into that place where we have to make decisions in regards to what the future will bring for us, for the next stage of our lives, for me and my marriage, and for my wife, and for our family as a whole. Now, with that long intro aside, other things that we need to talk about this, and I want to share today. Talk about, as you know, San Diego Comic-Con just passed. As always, Comic-Con is one of those events where it really attracts so many people, which is phenomenal. It has become such a icon of pop culture, where everybody talks about Comic-Con, not only about movies. The movies are there. The comic book companies. Also, you have actors, and you have all kind of things. You have video game companies. So it's become such a great event that at least I would say I will recommend anyone to at least experience once in their lifetime, one way or the other. It's really phenomenal. It's very commercialized, so. It's not like like an old comic book convention like it used to be. Which is, it is what it is. So, but there's a lot to see, and particularly for statue collectors, for toy collectors, for people that do that, it's just fantastic. The companies there really put a show, and particularly I would say Sideshow. Sideshow this year, as every year, it really knocks it out of the park. It's just phenomenal. It just what they do, what they offer, what they have on display is just fantastic. There's no other way to say it. And this year was no exception. They have so many different franchises for Marvel. They have a lot of stuff. They have for DC. They have for so many things. For Masters of the Universe. They had such a great display. Other companies that really surprised me was Twitterhead. Twitterhead's just doing fantastic. Once Bowen left kind of the zine open for a lot of things, nobody has really taken the place. I thought for a minute, many people thought that Gentle Giant would take the place, Code of Ikea would take the place, but they haven't really stepped into that for many reasons. Gentle Giant was in the middle of a changing ownership and the process of changing a lot of the things and what they were really looking for and evolving into a different thing. They're back again. I really like what Gentle Giant is doing. I love that they bring it back, the minibus collections, particularly for the Marvel. I'm a fan of what I've seen so far. I love that cable that they're producing. Hopefully they deliver it on time. That's something that Gentle Giant's never been good at. This Ahsoka for the Star Wars minibus, things like that. It's so much stuff that they're producing, little things here and there. Some things I'm not a keen, but I think Gentle Giant is doing it. But going back into Twitterhead really is blowing everyone in the sense of what they're doing with DC stuff. Phenomenal stuff with the 1/6 scale. It's a little larger than what the Bowen scale was, which was technically at 1/7, 1/8. But just phenomenal work. I definitely am supporting Twitterhead. I think they're doing fantastic in their job. Other companies that are stepping into the 1/6 scale, you see what Diamond Select is doing. Diamond Select's always been a trend, always been a center within the market with everything they do. With the figures and collectibles, more on the lower end of things. But they're really pumping stuff, and they have a good direction and a lot of for action figures, but statues for all different pockets. If you are more into, you cannot afford a $300, $400, $500 statue, then of course they have something for you. Even their statues, their 1/6 scale are starting at a really low, good price between the 100 and 150. If you go into the PVC, you're looking at 50, 60, less than $100. So definitely they're really hitting that market, which is good. You have other companies. You see Mundo with their figures, phenomenal figures. You see, Mezco doing their stuff. I'm not really a fan of some of the stuff that Mezco is doing with their figures, but they're there. NECA is doing a lot of great stuff also. As usual, a lot of their figures. So you're into action figures. There were a lot of companies like Super 7 doing the stuff with the Masters of the Universe. They took the mantle from Mattel, from Matty Collector. There's so much stuff that they're doing. I know there's one that really kind of caught my eye, and that was now is Dark Horse is doing their own distribution of collectibles. So they started what they call Dark Horse Direct, and one of them is 1000 Toys produced a figure, a Hellboy. It's a 7-inch figure, so it's a very small figure for those that love figures, but it's a premium figure with so many pieces. The price is okay. I think it's a little steep for what it is. But I think it's around over $100, but you can actually pre-order. It's coming out next year. But I really love everything that comes with this little figure. Another great thing from this San Diego Comic Con is the trailers that we got. And always every San Diego Comic Con we always get a lot of trailers for movies, particularly superhero movies, but other movies as well. But yeah, the ones that really caught my eye was Shazam and of course Aquaman from DC. DC. I can say about the DC Extended Universe. There have been times where I haven't been a fan of a lot of things they have done and what they're really trying to accomplish. And that not only goes for the movies, also goes for their comic books and for their the direction of animated series and movies. But I definitely I felt that they touched the right spot. It was the right thing, the right level of nerdiness, I would say. That really touched that spot where really it felt that is the right thing, the right direction for DC. Shazam was very lighthearted, there's a lot of comedy involved, and I think that that's the right thing. Although some people will find this not what they wanted, particularly older fans of Shazam. They just don't like some of the tone. They say it's too much comedy. They want something a little more serious. You cannot please anyone, but I think it fits the right profile for what they need to do. In many ways, I feel that this is something more what they should have done from the beginning. Just create separate superhero stories and then bring them all together into what Justice League should have been. But they kind of rush everything. They're trying to copy what Marvel is doing. And I believe that that's the right approach. I think they did that. I like that trailer. Also like Aquaman, it has the right tone. Aquaman is such a character that has been mocked, has been ridiculed for so long, but I feel that this is the right tone. Some people are not a fan of the actor as a whole, but I think that he brings that into the character. He reminds me of the 90s Aquaman, which it is a thing. If you really read comics, you know that. So it has a more brooding, figure. It really reminds me a lot of Thor. We're not trying to copy things here and there, but I feel that it's in the right direction. Visually, it was stunning. I really feel that this is the right thing. Another trailer that was revealed was Titans, the season 1, and I can tell you one thing. I'm glad. Part of me is glad that they are bringing the Teen Titans. But at the same time, I'm not so sure about what the direction of this, and I was not really as happy with the trailer. And I will expand on it. If you know Teen Titans, it's always been a staple for the DC universe. It's a young version. The young sidekicks created their own team, and it's always been part of it. Marvel created the X-Men in reference to the Teen Titans. To counterattack what they have. But Teen Titans has been evolving, of course, over time. Lately, the new Teen Titans is one of my favorite runs with George Perez. Definitely one of the ones that I really love, and most people kind of remember nowadays. Teen Titans is definitely a very hopeful, has always been a youthful group, and I feel that with this new season, and it was an R-rated trailer, and it's an R-rated show, I feel that DC is missing the mark. There's a lot of things that I didn't like about it. For starters, robbing Dick Grayson, using foul language and killing people. definitely I feel that it was out of place, and it's out of place. If you read comics, if you know Teen Titans, this is not the Teen Titans you read. And a lot of people are gonna use this as an excuse. Well, this is not what you read. This is not your grandma or your grandpa or your father's Teen Titans. And to me, well, this is not even the modern Teen Titans. This is just something that they cook out, trying to bring some more diversity into it and create something that kind of fits and at the same fits into some certain profile what people or some people think is the right thing to do, particularly when they and the problem with DC is always they try to copy what Marvel is doing. Yes, because Marvel is doing the Netflix shows, which are dark in tone and are R-rated, which I have no problem with them. I'm okay with that because of the characters that you're representing there. And I don't think the Teen Titans fit the same profile. I think there's plenty characters in the DC universe that can be used in order to fit that profile. So the problem with DC is that they always go back to the same characters to create the same thing. So it's never varies as much. They don't go into the darker corners of their extensive universe to grab some of those characters that actually can fit that profile better. I feel that they bring the Teen Titans because Teen Titans have always been popular, and they give them a darker tone, and I feel that that's the mistake. I really like some of the the costumes and stuff. I'm not a fan of Starfire. I think that's not Starfire at all. They have Beast Boy, all that kind of stuff. But we'll see. I'll give it a chance. I just feel that it's going to be another missed opportunity from DC as they have done many. I feel like it's going to be another version of Arrow. I think, in my opinion, but a more R-rated version with younger people. That's all it's going to be, and probably last 2-3 seasons, and that's about it. So I'm not a fan. And also we learn about the service that DC is going to provide that they're going to run very soon. That is a streaming service. It's going to cost around $70 a year. I'm not sure, or for I don't know how many months, 15 months, something like that. I just don't feel that it's going to be successful. I don't know if it's going to be successful. Personally, I don't. When there's so many different services like Netflix or Hulu and Acorn and other services that they provide other type of service, for a specific group of people for different specific type of movies, and you have such a vast competition when you can pay the same amount of money and get so much content. You can pay even the same amount of money and go and play on Xbox or PlayStation Network. What's the point of paying that type of money for a service that all is going to play is probably the newer movies that we already watch or we already own, and some of the older shows and Warner Brothers probably cartoons that we have in one way or another, or you can watch online or you can watch in other services. So I feel that I don't think it's going to get too far unless they change the approach and the content, and they give you more content than just simply DC stuff. There's a lot to say about Marvel. In the last few days, we have a lot of controversy about different issues with Marvel. First of all, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing fantastic. If you have watched the movies, they've been doing great. The Avengers was fantastic with Thanos. I really like it. Too bad that we have to wait too long for the second part of that movie. But we gotta wait. So what can we do? But Ant-Man, which I love Ant-Man. It was good. It was Ant-Man. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but I think it was very entertaining, very fun, and it expanded even more into the story, into the lore. So I'm really glad for that. But as you know, recently James Gunn was fired from the Marvel Cinematic Universe because of some controversial tweets that he sent out years ago. It's hard to really align yourself into one or the other. I know there are a lot of people who are into one thing. I think that a lot of people saying that Disney did the right thing. A lot of people say that Disney did the wrong thing. To me, I'm in the middle. I feel that as we are all accountable for what we say and what we do, and sooner or later it's going to bite us in the butt. I feel that a lot of the stuff that he said has been blown out of proportion. I do feel that he said a lot of things that are very wicked, out of place. I don't think that he intended to to kind of like promote pedophilia. I know as a person, as a guy, as a man, as we always talk in different ways between other men. And I have a lot of friends. I've never been a saint or perfect man. I'm not saying that I'm just talking about those things, but as I grew up, as other kids, other kids, young people, use all type of comments, and sometimes you joke around in a way that you shouldn't. But that's how it is. It's always been. So I don't know. Some of them were disturbing. Some of those tweets, and I feel that I don't know if something in his personal life. I cannot judge because I'm not him, and I don't know him on a personal level. We don't know for a fact. He hasn't been accused of anything. He hasn't been in court because of it. Now, if Disney did this as a preemptive action, expecting something in the future that will come out and he will be revealed, things will be revealed. We know that Hollywood is not a perfect place, but at the same time, I cannot really trust someone and judge a person. I feel that he has a right to be heard. I think he dealt with that years back. I feel that there's backlashes came from people they're trying to discredit him because he's not a supporter of the actual administration. And I'm not gonna get into politics here. But that's how it is, and I feel that this back and forth, what he said, and people are making it bigger. There's thousands and thousands of tweets, and in reality, there's no proof of that. There's just a few tweets, but people make it bigger, and other people believe it because that's how the world we live in. You just create a lie, you throw a lie, and everybody believes it because nobody checks. There's no checks and balances in social media. So unfortunately, people don't step back, and they just believe and judge things right away foolishly by just accepting things as fact, fiction as fact, or accepting what someone says just because you know that person. You don't know that person is telling the truth, or that person is misinformed. So it's just a matter of informing yourself. But at the same time, I feel that Disney did the right thing for their own, on their own benefit, for their image as a company. They want to stand behind their product, and they want to stand behind people and the different causes that they represent. And I think that's good that Disney is presenting, is doing something that I think is important, and it's creating that image. And I know that Mr. Gunn made a mistake, and I know he's paying dearly for it, but that's how life is, So I think it's time to move on from that. I don't think that is the end for Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe from his point of view or from his vision for the Guardians of the Galaxy. But ultimately, movies evolve, and they have to evolve, and franchises have to evolve. So it's not the first time a director has been removed from one movie, and still the movie ends up to being successful, even though it might be a different tone. He has the support of the cast, the people there, which is good. That really speaks volumes of his character and the friendships that he had developed there, and that people believe in him. So I don't have a doubt, and I don't have to judge his character or what he has done in the past. I believe that people have there's always second chances for people, and whether they did something wrong or right, until to me, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And speaking of Marvel, one great thing that is right now going on, and everybody's super excited, is the steps that they're doing in order for the purchase of Fox and the rights of a lot of franchises. Particularly in my case, what really interests me, the X-Men, Deadpool, and the Fantastic Four, and everything in between. I'm really excited for it. I definitely feel that I remember so many years back, people were not really thinking that this will ever happen. Even in different forums, people were saying it's not going to happen. They're not going to let it go because it's a lot of money involved. But that was before even Disney bought Marvel. That was before Disney got in the fray and backed Marvel financially, Marvel Studios. And what can I say? It's just, I think we live in good times. I think Disney has the means, the power, the capacity to do it. I respect what Fox has done. I respect the movies that they have produced, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four. They're not as bad as people think they are. I think there was a great start. Many of the characters, they have Blade and all that stuff. But I think it's time to move on, and I think it's time for them to come back home. To go to the place. As DC has has all his characters' rights and is able to produce material, whether we like it or not, is able to produce under the same banner. I think Marvel should have the same rights on these characters. I know that the reason why that happened, why they end up with different companies and different studios, because Marvel was in a really bad spot and they needed the financial backing, and selling those rights was easy back in the day. But now I think it's a different time, and it's going to be good. It will be great to see everything included into one single universe, whether they're part of this universe. Because as you know, we have already seen 10 years of this Marvel movies. I don't know how much we are going to see these actors playing the parts, or in the future we will see a new revamping of the universe. We don't know what's going to happen or what plans they have in store, but I believe that it's going to be great, particularly for Fantastic Four, which is my childhood team, was the one that I grew up with, and the X-Men, which I love the X-Men. So who doesn't love the X-Men? So I feel that it's the right direction. I know a lot of people are more concerned about the financial aspects, about monopolies and all of that, which I understand, but I feel that this is the right thing. If you create something, this is my opinion, you have the right to control it. And if that right is taken away because for a bad deal that you did, because it was a bad deal. It was a good deal then, but it was a bad deal. It's a bad deal now. I think people should have the right to get those things back. Call it a jubilee year. I think this is a jubilee year for all of us. Everything is going back to the actual owner. And I think that's the right thing. I think Fox made enough money for it. Fox is going to make a lot of money out of this, of the people that own Fox. So I think it's a good deal for everyone. And I think in the end, Disney is going to expand this even more. We're going to see more movies, more stuff, more merchandise, more amusement parks, which I'm really looking for. And I feel that that's the right direction. Disney has done it, has done great. I think they're doing great. I also like what they're doing with Star Wars, even though I know maybe they get a backlash from a lot of you because you don't like what the tone of the Star Wars. But I think that even through some mishaps and some things that have not been as good, I think they're going in the right direction, or at least they can change direction if necessary, but they have the financial backing that Disney is offering. So I think that there's a lot in the future. The future is bright for those companies, for them, for this universes, cinematic universes. So I'm really glad. And this has been an extensive video, but before I go, I want to say thank you. Thank you for really supporting me all this time. Thank you for being there for me when sometimes I feel that I couldn't just continue on doing this. I'm glad. I'm really working a lot of things. Stay tuned. I'm gonna have material every week from now on. So you're gonna see materials. You're gonna see in my channel different dates. You're gonna get your reviews on the weekends, and I think in the middle of the week you're gonna have a video like this where I talk about everything that is happening within the week and the week before, and we'll talk about collectibles and review certain stuff and talk about certain things in pop culture. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the time. Thank you for all these 5 years that you've been there for me. Thank you for still encouraging me to continue on. I appreciate all the support. And I wish you the best, and I pray that God bless you and everything you plan to do and everything you're trying to accomplish. So take care, my friends. I'll see you next time.